back to Hustle Vida, where cultura, business, and creative voices come together. Gracias to our viewers for tapping in, supporting local talento, and riding with us as we shine a light on stories that matter to nuestra comunidad. This show is more than just music or business. It's about real people, real conversations, and the hustle behind every dream. Big love to our sponsors, Gonzalez Law Group and Up Above Media, for helping us keep this platform rooted, real, and full of purpose. Let's get into it. This is Hustle Vida. Hey, it's your host, Jessica Jeanz, and today on Hustle Vida, we're honored to welcome a true Houston legend, Lucky Luciano, a pioneer in Mexican rap, Latin hip-hop. Lucky has consistently represented for the culture. His transformation from the streets to sobriety and his ventures into entrepreneurship showcase a journey of resilience, reinvention. So join us as we dive into his legacy and the commitment to uplifting the community and the wisdom he's gained along the way. So show some support, show some love. It is Uncle Luck, Lucky Luciano.
Man, I like that intro you just gave me right there. You know what I'm saying? That was awesome.
Yeah, well deserved. No, man, well deserved. I've been listening to your music for most of my upbringing, right? So, I'm originally from San Antonio, and I heard a lot of your music on the Pocos Pero Locos platform. Shout out to Kool-Aid and them. But, there's just so much that people have grown up listening to your music. You've inspired a lot of people to get into rap themselves. So, tell us a little bit about what that journey was like, you kind of being in the early stages and really kind of being a pioneer when it comes to Mexican rap.
Well, ever since a little kid, I just remember as far back as I remember listening to music, and I always that's what I wanted to be when I grew up. I knew since I was probably like 8 or 9 years old that I wanted to be a rapper. Since like Run DMC had the big chains on, you know what I'm saying? When I seen that, I was like, that's what I want to do, you know what I'm saying? I want to be a rapper. So I just started, rapping, I fell in love with the music, and then it started getting serious probably when I was 17, 18 years old. That's when I said, man, I started going to studios, meeting other rappers and people that were really in the music business. And that's when I said, man, I think I got a shot to really do something.
Yeah. And, just the messages and the things that you were talking about, mainly, like a diary of what happens up, growing up here in Houston and Texas. And, it was a lot of street music. But at the same time, like, it was a lot of stuff that you were hitting, like, on the mainstream level. Like I said, I was listening to you on radio. When did you know how much of an impact you were becoming to people?
Probably when I started leaving the city, whenever I started traveling, doing shows in other cities and other states. And then I'd seen the response that I'd get from people that, they knew the lyrics to the songs, or they would, ask for pictures and autographs and stuff back then. And, that's when I was like, man, these people really know who I am, you know what I'm saying? In other states that, Washington, Colorado, Oklahoma, New Mexico, states like that I had never even been to.
Yeah. And what were some of the things maybe you learned along the way that you didn't expect? Like, man, I want to be a rapper, is what I want to do. And then when you did it and you was doing it.
Oh, there's a lot more that go into it than just rapping good. So there's a business side of it, that you got to be about your business and know the business. Because if you don't know the business, you get, taken advantage of. And, you just got to, you could have all the talent in the world, but if you don't know the business, you ain't gonna make no money. So
right.
you gotta know the business.
No, right. And how did you learn the business? The hard way?
The hard way. I think I was so young and hungry and eager to get out there. Like, I remember just signing my first contract. I didn't even read it. I'm like, what? Y'all gonna put me a tape in the store and I'm gonna be able to, make music, y'all gonna put me in the studio, whatever, So my very first album, I didn't make no money off of that. That was just like a trade-off I got to get my name out there.
Right.
So they pretty much kept all of it. I think it was like a 90-10 deal where I got 10%, they got 90%.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. So, along the way, a lot of great friendships and things have developed along the way. I just wanted to just recognize R.I.P. Sin. He was one of your good friends and somebody you poured into a lot.
Yes. So matter of fact, he was on that very first album, the one that I didn't make. None of us made no money off of it. Shout out to all the producers that was on that album, because they was, giving me beats and stuff on the strength of our relationship. All the rappers that came together and got on that first album, it was called Lucky Me. None of us made no money off it. The producers, the rappers, none of us. I mean, it ain't like it sold, a whole bunch of, it made some money though, it did enough. But from there, that's when I got able to, start doing my own thing after that. And then that's when, Dope House came and they ended up buying out of that contract that I was in. And then they ended up giving me some money. That was the first time I started, okay, now I'm starting to see some money. They gave me some money. Put out the next album I did called You Already Know. And then from there, everything I did after that was all me. I was like, I got this from here. You know what I'm saying? I'm good now.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of maybe the obstacles, because like I said, it's a pioneer situation with you. You were there when there wasn't a lot of Mexican rappers, or it wasn't even welcome, or was it?
There was Mexican rappers, but when I came out, there was like, it was like a different style of Mexican rappers, especially in other, cities and states. They weren't used to seeing somebody talk like me or rap like me. Now, when you go online and you see these young Mexican rappers, they got the way they look. That wasn't going on back in the late 90s and the early 2000s. It wasn't, accepted. You know what I'm saying? When I had braids and gold teeth in my mouth and chains and stuff, they didn't know what to think of me.
Right.
So it was different.
How did you push through all of that?
I was just myself. I was just, being me, just being authentic, being, who I was. And they realized that, oh, that's really him. That's how he is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's funny because I want to say the first time I ever did an interview was a street interview. And I want to say it was at a Dope House event. And I was walking around with the microphone and I seen you and we were talking. And at the time, I mean, I was lit. I was drinking. I think everybody was drinking at that point. But I remember your conversation specifically because you were already in that mode, like, I'm a grown man, like, I need to do something different with my life. Like I don't know if you remember that, but soon after that, I saw the transition happen.
Yeah. So, like I said, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a rapper. But now that I'm a man, my desires are changed. That's not what I'm trying to aspire to be as a rapper now. Now I want to be somebody that my daughter can look up to, somebody that my son can be proud of, somebody that my wife can look at and say, man, that's a beast. That man, he does what he say he gonna do, he do it. He don't act one way on social media and then at home another way. No, he's the same all across the board. That's what I strive for now.
Right.
So, that's my purpose. I chase purpose now, to be something bigger than just a rapper. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm after.
I love that. You attend church, you get wrapped. You're out there.
Pastor Juan, yeah.
Pastor Juan. Also a good friend, Carrie, I want to say, was somebody who kind of led you to the church. Yes, I know Carrie.
Oh,
Carrie,
okay.
Shout out to Carrie, the credit guy.
Yeah, Carrie. Shout out to Carrie. So that's how I got involved with that church. I was at the barbershop one day, and Carrie walked in there. I didn't know Carrie, and he just pulled up. I had a Range Rover that was wrapped like candy red wrap on there. So I think he was with his son. I think he passed by and said, yo, that's Lucky at the barbershop. So they pulled up, and he walked in, and he said, hey, I want to pray for you. So I was like, come on, I need all the prayer I can get. And I wasn't going to church at that time, or I wasn't, I was trying to change my life, but I wasn't like, I didn't know God at that time. You know what I'm saying? So, but I was open to the prayer. I said, come on, pray. He prayed for me. He paid for everybody's haircut at the barbershop. Wow. And then he gave me a flyer. He said, here's our church. It's right here down the street. It was like pretty much next door to the barbershop. And he said, come up there on Sunday. So I was like, all right, bet. So me and my wife, I came home. Matter of fact, me and my wife were arguing at that day. When I went to the barbershop, I was like, I'm finna go get my hair cut. I'm finna go, you know what I'm saying?
Go outside.
And then when I left that barbershop, I went home. I said, babe, you're not gonna believe what happened. This dude just came in there. He prayed for me. It was a good prayer too. And he gave me a flyer and he invited me to church. So, we're gonna go to church this Sunday.
Nice.
So we went to the church. And then I guess somebody saw me there at the church and told the pastor, hey, Lucky came to the church. That was Lucky at the church. So he reached out to me later on Instagram.
Nice. And I just see how much that relationship has blossomed. I've seen the way that you blossom, how you can just sense like the spirit's in you now. Just how you speak, the things that you do, and the way you're incorporating health into your regimen now. Coaching, young men, and then also with the business. You want to talk a little bit about how that's impacted you?
Yeah, so I believe that you have to have some accountability in your life, because going to church ain't enough. You can go to church every Sunday and you still gonna be falling short during the week. That's why you be seeing, I see the same people in front of the church at the altar every Sunday crying, like, you know what I'm saying? Like they're still feeling that shame or that guilt. And it's because there's still something they struggle with. A lot of Christians, they struggle with infidelity in their marriage. They struggle with pornography. They struggle with drinking. They struggle with, drugs, smoking. And it's because they don't have that self-discipline. You got to implement some kind of self-discipline in your life on a daily process to overcome those struggles. So whenever you do get tempted throughout the day, you can overcome it. You can have the strength to overcome it. Because I was still, the first couple years when I was trying to go to church, I was reading my Bible, going to church every Sunday, and I would still slip up and, want to smoke it sometimes or drink sometimes or, little things like that. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't until I applied those self-discipline, morning routine, non-negotiable, that my life really, really started to change for the better.
Right. And why did you choose, because there's different ways you could be disciplined, right? And why did you choose going with your health first?
Because I believe that discipline, the best way to start being disciplined is with an early morning wake up. So when your alarm goes off at 4:30 in the morning or 5 a.m.
Ooh-wee.
And you want to hit the snooze, when you say, no, I'm getting up no matter if I feel like it or if I don't feel like it. Because there's some days I feel like it, some days I don't feel like it. But no matter, regardless, I'm going to get up. So that right there is, boom, one level of discipline. Now, if I put my shoes on and I go outside and run a mile at 5:30 in the morning, that's okay, another level of discipline. If I go to the gym and hit those weights, 5:30 in the morning, but it has to be done every day. If you do it one day or 2 days a week, a month, you're not going to see no change. But if you do it every single day, you start to see your life change. I believe your thoughts shape your reality, right? Mm-hmm. So somebody who implements that daily discipline into their life every day, they're going to be thinking different than somebody who wakes up and just starts scrolling, looking at the gossip on social media, or looks at porn, or smokes a blunt, or, or just in traffic on their way to work, to go work for somebody. That person that's taking that self-accountability and being stern with their self is going to have a different outlook and a different thinking process than the other people that don't. So wow. That's the upper hand I have, not only on people, but on myself. So when I do get tempted I really don't get tempted no more, but when I was getting tempted, it's easy to overcome it. Now I'm at a place where my job is to help other people. So I've healed myself in those areas, and now I'm focused on helping other people heal themselves.
I love that. So if anybody is watching and they're like, man, I look up to Lucky, or I seen his transition and I want to tap in with him, I want to see, I want to be on his level, could they reach out to you?
Yeah, they could reach out to me. People, I have men hit me up all the time on Instagram. That's mainly, where a lot of my clients come from, is Instagram and social media. So yeah, I respond, I can't sit there and answer all your questions on Instagram and have a whole conversation with you.
I need a consultation for that.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I do help, I got a lot of guys that I help.
Yeah. So would you say that the wisdom came, from just experience, with age, with a combination of
with the
faith?
Struggle? The wisdom comes from the struggle and the darkness. That's where you learn everything, in those dark times and the hard times. A lot of pain. That's where the wisdom comes from. You don't grow when everything's going right. When you got all your bills paid, you got food in the refrigerator, you ain't got nothing to worry about, there's no growth. You're staying stagnant with your life. I've been in seasons like that with me, where everything was going good, but I wasn't growing. I was staying stagnant. It's when you in the struggle, and sometimes God has to put you in an uncomfortable situation so he can get you to move. And you got to be sick and tired of living the way you're living if you really want to change.
That's a word. Okay, Pastor Lucky. Tell us what you have coming up and how people can participate and tap in with you either on the business, music.
Yeah,
all of
so
that.
we have a business. We help people get licensed for life insurance and investments. So I have a securities license and a life license. So with that securities license, I'm able to do investments for people, Roth IRAs, retirement plans, 401k rollovers, all kind of investments. I usually don't use my license for that. What I do is I'm more like a broker where I get people licensed and I show them the business and show them how to build their own business with that license. And in return, when they make a sale or do an investment, we break bread. So that's what we do right now. I have over 100 licensed agents. So
wow. Wow.
And I feel like that fell in my lap when I decided to change my life and work on myself, because I was struggling with how am I going to pay my bills if I ain't out there in them clubs doing these shows and I ain't doing these features for these, little rappers out here. Like, how am I going to pay my bills? And that was something I prayed about. And during that same year in 2020 is when God, placed that opportunity in my lap.
Man, and because now you're in a position for receiving. Now you're in a position of, letting go of negativity and now you're focused. You're already doing the things, like you said, to be disciplined, to open those doors for yourself. Sometimes that's the way the universe works and embrace those struggles. So if you learned anything by watching, is when you're going through those dark times, it's for a reason. It's for your own good.
Yeah, when guys hit me up on Instagram, they're like, man, I just lost my girl. I was drinking last night. I lost my job. I spent all my money. And I'm like, good. That's the best place to be right there. Because if everything was going right, you wouldn't change. You know what I'm saying? If your girl didn't catch you cheating, you probably wouldn't have stopped cheating. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's that dark place. That's what makes you open your eyes and say, okay, I got to do something about it. Now, you got to be strong enough to do it and hold yourself accountable, because a lot of times people say they want to do this and I start coaching them and then, 3 weeks into it, they don't see no change and they fall off. But, this is not like a 90-day challenge. It takes more time than just a few months to get rid of all those years of self-limiting beliefs that you built up in your mind. It's going to take some time to get rid of that and recondition your mind.
Well, I just want to say I'm extremely proud of you as a man, as an artist, just seeing the transition, the way that you and your family have been out here touching people's lives, changing people's lives, telling them about God, and just being the example. And I love to see it. I did just see that you had a new song, though.
Yes.
You just dropped a video representing for Raza.
Yeah.
Tell us about that and what you're working on.
So, shout out to my boy Sin. I know he had passed away, and I knew they had did a mural, and that was something that I wanted to do, just to honor him. So I said, man, I'm gonna make a song. I'm gonna shoot the video right there in front of that mural. So that's what we did. The video should be dropping sometime this week. It's called Summertime. Shout out to Solo, did the beat. I follow Solo. I really don't rap like that no more. I don't be in the studio trying to put out a new album, but I follow Solo on Instagram. So he's always showing his music that he's making, his beats he's producing. So when I heard that beat, I was like, I was like, oh, I need that beat, man. Go send me that beat. So he sent it to me, and I dropped the song to it, shot the video. So it's out now on all platforms. The song is called Summertime.
All right. And where can they follow you, Luck?
It's Lucky Baby on Instagram, and on YouTube, it's Luciano TV.
All right. Anything else you want the viewers to know or just to leave behind?
Man, if I could do it, you can do it. You know what I'm saying? I was at the bottom of the bottom, the worst of the worst. I struggled with, all kinds of different addictions, and I overcame it. So if I can do it, you can do it. You got to put God first, be self-disciplined, and hold your word to yourself. You got to look in the mirror and make that promise to yourself and say, I need to get better for me. And because nothing's going to change until you change.
Man, well said. Pioneer right here. We've got Lucky Luciano in the building. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Hey, we are back on Hustle Vida. I'm your host, Jessica Jeanz, and today we are honored to feature the true embodiment of resilience and artistry. Out of Los Angeles, California, she's transformed from her early passion of poetry, pride, into a crazy hip-hop career that spans years. Her music dives deep into the themes of personal struggle, empowerment, cultural identity, resonating with audiences worldwide. Beyond the mic, she's an entrepreneur. She's got her own clothing line. She's organizing tours, all while staying true to her roots. Repping for the West Coast, we welcome Reverie to Hustle Vida.
Hey, girl.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Looking beautiful, glowing. It must
you.
be the Texas sun.
Yes, it is. It is. I've been really enjoying myself here.
How you feeling? Like, how you liking the vibe here in Houston? How you being received?
We just got here a few hours ago, and I'll be honest with you, I haven't gotten to spend a lot of time in Houston, but I've definitely been spending a lot of time in like San Antonio, and I really like it there.
Okay.
Yeah. We just did a show in Dallas and a show in Austin, and we're gonna hit El Paso in a couple days, and we're also gonna be in New Mexico and Arizona. But in general, I like the vibe of Texas. It's really different than LA.
Yeah.
But also it's very similar too, because there's like a lot of Mexicans here too.
Yeah.
It's kind of just like home.
It's like a home away from home.
Yeah.
Right.
So I like it. Every time I come to Texas, I really enjoy myself.
Yeah. So I heard that you experienced, a tornado warning.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
tell us about that, because like for us, it's like, oh, it's just a tornado. It may or may not hit. Like, it'll be okay. You're like, what's happening?
Yes, the alarm started going off on our phones, and then Spy, he brought me out here on this tour. He was like, oh, there's a tornado warning. I was like, oh, okay. He's like chilling. I'm like waiting for him to go on. Like, what does that mean? So he was like explaining that it's not a big deal, and Prado's with me. He's from California too, and we're like, oh my God. We're
There's lightning and thunder.
Yeah, the lightning doesn't stop, and the thunder's getting crazy, and it's flooding everywhere. I'm just like, okay, I guess we'll just see what happens. But everything was all good.
Yeah, welcome to Texas.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't have tornadoes or storms like that in Los Angeles. Hell no. Hell no.
Right. I lived in Cali for a little bit, and I was welcome with an earthquake.
Okay.
So I will trade.
When was that?
This was like in 92.
Oh, so you were there for the big one.
Yeah,
wow.
It hit Big Bear.
You know what? I was like a little baby, so I don't remember that at all. So to me, as far as my life goes in LA, I'm not scared of earthquakes because we get them all the time, but they're not a big deal.
Yeah.
But I don't remember that one. And I think if I did, I would probably have a different perspective on it.
Definitely shook.
Yeah, I heard it was crazy.
Speaking of crazy, your career is just crazy. You've been taking off. You've been putting in work for a very long time.
Yeah.
And I know personally, I followed you and listened to a lot of your stuff, and definitely seen the progression.
Thank you.
In your writing. I mean, you've always been a great writer, and that I think is the part that resonates with a lot of us women. And just if you're a hip hop head, you just can appreciate, your lyricism. So I do want to talk about, your upbringing and how poetry and music really literally saved your life.
So I was born and raised in Los Angeles, Northeast LA, Highland Park, and I was raised by a single mother. And I have two other siblings that grew up in that household with me, and it was just rough growing up. My mom was always stressed out, so there was a lot of like physical violence in the house and just screaming and, just a lot of dysfunction. And my dad wasn't really there to help enough, obviously. So me and my brothers got in a lot of trouble. We were like doing hard drugs, as little young teenagers. My brothers were in and out of juvenile halls, rolling with the gang. I've almost been killed a few times. I was getting in fist fights. I got expelled out of school, out of the district, and just a lot of bad things were going on when I was a kid. So I faced like a lot of trauma, I guess, but my music...
And not even really knowing it, right? Because you're just kind of living your life. You're seeing it happen all around you. You don't even... Yeah.
And also, my mom and my dad weren't the best parents. They did the best they could, and I love them, and I appreciate everything they did do right for me, Obviously, they ended up all right, but they did the best they could with what they knew. And obviously, I say that to say they came from dysfunctional households, who's also came from dysfunctional households.
Generational.
It's generational. All of that stuff is generational. In my family, we face a lot of addiction problems, a lot of just abuse of all kinds, honestly, So growing up, it was difficult, and sometimes I think about the things I went through when I was a kid, and it's kind of hard to go there, and I feel bad for that little girl that had to go through all that. But you know what? It gave her a lot to write about. Yeah. And I feel like it sucks that I had to go through that stuff, but that's why people love me, because I'm relatable. They say, you're so vulnerable. You've been through this, you've been through that, you've been through this. I'm going through that, So it's like, I feel like in that way, that's how I have made my past into a positive.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so, this is the way that you're speaking. This is the way that you're healing, and you're using music and poetry to get ahead. But again, you are a woman in this male-dominant industry, especially at the time that you began. Now we see a lot of more women, dominating the rap scene, and it's great. But it wasn't always like that. So there was a lot of struggles and things that you had to overcome, and mentally, physically, and having to go out there and work twice as hard. Elaborate on that and that struggle and how you got through that.
Yeah. So when I started about 10 years ago, there was not a lot of female MCs, and there is a lot of female MCs now, but there's still not enough. But it's beautiful to see the women on the rise. But damn, 10 years ago, there was just a handful of us, and especially like as a Latina rapper, like there's still not a lot of us, and it's been difficult being a female in the game. It's a male-dominated industry, so just off the bat, it's a little bit harder for us to get to the top because there's less of us, It's just like how there's less, let's say, Latinos in politics, for example. So it's going to be harder for anybody who wants to get into politics that's Latino to get into politics because there's less people that can pull them up,
Right, and then to vote for you and to get in the seat, that's a whole other thing, too.
Exactly. So any area of work is like that. If there's not as many of your people in that area, it's going to be a little harder for you. It's not impossible, but it's going to be a little bit harder. So that's kind of what it was like for me when I was just starting out. And there's a lot of double standards with women in the rap game. Like, for example, if a guy says, oh, I had a menage a trois with his two twin sisters, everybody's like, yeah, he's a man. But if I said I had a menage a trois with two twin brothers, oh, she's a slut.
Yeah.
She's a whole fuck her, So it's like, and there is like a lot of rap now, like, by women, like I call it pussy rap, where it's just all about the pussy, it's all about fucking, all about getting this food, buy me a bag and this and that. That's cool. I like that stuff when it's a party, I like it, but
there's a time and a place.
Yeah, exactly. But in general, guys don't really want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just something that I faced along the way, and a lot of times, not a lot of times, let me rephrase myself. Sometimes men will be a certain way with me, like rude. I'm not even talking about like sexually. Like, yeah, of course I got hit on, whatever. Like, but if someone, let's say, is rude with me and has like a certain tone with me, and then when my manager comes, or my tour manager, or my security, and speaks to them, they don't have that same tone with them because I'm 5'4", 125 pounds. Like they could speak to me like that, but they're not gonna talk to him like that. You know what I mean? Right. So when I see that, I'm like, oh, okay, got it.
Tough guy.
Yeah, tough guys. Yeah. But then it also has happened. Like, for example, if someone does shoot their shot at me and wants to go out with me or whatever, and if I decline, then they act like an asshole. Yeah. Like, I understand if you want to shoot your shot, go for it. But if I reject you, don't act like a dick afterwards. Right.
Right.
Like, keep it professional.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just not into you. It's all good. We can still keep doing what we're doing. Like, we don't need to. You know what I mean? Like, but so those are like some things that I face along the way, and that I guess that I still have to deal with. But I also will say there's advantages to being a woman in the game as well.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about that.
Like, because there is less of us, there's less competition. You know what I'm saying? So it's easier, in my opinion, to stand out as a woman, maybe especially even as a Latina woman, because the community is still small for us right now. There's still only a handful of us that are really making noise right now. Right. You know what I'm saying? So right now it's cool for us. Like, we're paving the way right now.
We're watching it in real time.
Yeah. And so that's cool. That's something that I didn't really realize until very recently, to be honest with you. And even like a couple years ago, I realized that I work with another girl called Gavlin, and she's also a Latina rapper from LA as well. Okay. And I was thinking about it, I was like, oh my God, did you ever realize that we were one of the first like Latina rappers to go viral online? And this is like almost 10 years into our careers. I never thought about it. Like, at the time, it was just like I was getting millions of views on YouTube, and back then it was like a lot more crazy to get millions of views than it is now. You know what I'm saying? Like, now it's kind of common, but back then, 10 years ago, it was like, if you got millions of views on your YouTube video, I don't know what that would equate to nowadays. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, 20 million views on YouTube. Like, I don't know, but I didn't really think about that. I didn't really realize how, I guess I'll say, like, lucky I am that happened to me 10 years ago, to go viral at that moment. You know?
It set you up for so much. To snowball into what you're doing now. But it didn't just come, like you said, there was a lot of struggles, a lot of things that came along the way. And you mentioned, time and time, like, even with myself, like, I fucks with her. Like, I listen to your words, your lyrics, and I'm like, how does she know what I'm feeling? And I know that resonates with a lot of other women. And a lot of it has to do with your walk with sobriety. And, just all the things that you had to fight against when it comes to drugs and things. I've come from a similar background of recovery. So I know there's a lot of people struggling with that right now too. So from, you as a woman, and you're talking and speaking to some of our viewers, what is your advice when it comes to trying to break out of those, whatever it is that's holding you, those struggles and those addictions?
Ooh, that's a really very complicated subject, addiction. And I just do want to say that I'm not sober, but I take breaks of sobriety.
Okay.
I have taken breaks of sobriety. I started about 6 years ago, and I've gone like a couple times for like a year and a half to 2 years just completely sober, or sometimes I'll challenge myself, like no weed for 6 months, or no drinking for 6 months, or like whatever, just like to get my head right, or if I find myself that I am slipping back into those patterns of using drugs and alcohol when I shouldn't be, as medicine, because it's not medicine. When I find myself doing that again, I'll have to take another break.
I think that's such an honest answer, because sometimes it does take those roller coasters and just kind of be like, well, this is, my journey. And for the reasons that you have, to clear your head, or just so that it doesn't have you, and it's recreation, instead of it being, like you said, like an ailment, or you feel like you need it, as medicine. But that's a very... And why do you feel that works for you versus going cold turkey like people will preach?
I mean, I have gone cold turkey though, because I have taken 2 years of complete sobriety, like without weed, anything, and I feel like I did have to do that to be able to say, oh, I'm going down this path again that I was before I took those 2 years of sobriety. If I don't take a break now, it's probably going to turn into what it was, and I feel like that's, people who deal with addiction, people will say that, oh, they're addicted to drugs because they just want to be high all day. They just want to feel fucked up. But it's like, people that are addicted to drugs don't want to feel high. They don't want to feel anything. They want to feel no pain. They want to feel no anxiety. They want to feel no stress. They want to feel no heartbreak. They want to feel no grief. And if you're feeling any of those intense emotions and nobody taught you how to deal with them when you were a child, when you find drugs and alcohol, it feels pretty good. When it can make everything go away, even just for a few moments,
Right.
So a lot of us, unfortunately, we're not taught those tools on how to deal with an extreme emotion. Like I said, I came from a household that was full of yelling and violence, and losing my brothers to the system, in and out for years. There was a lot of separation in my home,
Wow.
So my mom didn't have those tools to teach me how do I deal with this sadness that I'm feeling right now from my brothers being in juvenile hall. She didn't even know how to address that. I don't even know if she thinks of that. She comes from a different generation where they were just taught to, don't talk about your problems with anybody. Oh, act like everything's fine. Oh, suck it up. Be brave. I'm okay. I was raised like this and I'm all right. Like they don't really know about that stuff. And I feel like so many people, even my age and younger, don't know about that stuff, because unfortunately in this country, they don't teach us those tools.
Right.
They teach us other things that I haven't used in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like geometry 2.
Right.
Why didn't they teach me psychology?
Right.
Or how to deal with
emotional
my emotions?
management. Yes.
Like in our country, they don't value preventative measures. They value solutions. So when we're sick, when we're depressed and we need medication, it's perfect. When we eat until we're obese and we have diabetes, that's perfect because they could put on a prescription for life. They have everybody on drugs in our country and everyone's sick, including myself. I have multiple medical conditions as well. They don't teach us that in this country. So I say all that to say that we need to, in our culture, teach each other how to, talk about the bad feelings that we feel, because that's something we don't know how to do in the Latino culture in general. And then number 2, we have to learn how to manage them and how to process them and not just cover them up and act like nothing's all right, and then you develop a tumor in your stomach from suppressing your feelings all your life, you know? Or we have so many people that are strung out in the streets or have a problem. Oh, I'm not an alcoholic, but they have a 6-pack of beer every day after work, you know, and they don't even realize that there's something really going on, you know? So I feel like all that just ties in. But I would say if you're struggling with addiction and you realize you're struggling with addiction and you don't want to struggle with it anymore, I would just say that there's help out there, but you got to go find it. Because nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's going to hold you by the hand and make sure you go to those AA meetings. Nobody's going to ask you how you're feeling every day, if it's the same answer every day. You know, like, you have to stop feeling sorry for yourself. You have to take initiative. You have to go find the solutions. The resources are there. The resources are there. I would say, and if you have no money for rehab, you don't need a rehab. You can just go to AA meetings. They're free. Yeah. They're literally free. You just go on Google, AA meetings in my city, and you find whatever works in your time frame. And that's the other thing too. People always have excuses. Oh, I have to go to work. Oh, my kids. Oh, no. Like, you could sacrifice an hour to go to a meeting because you've been on Instagram scrolling for an hour. Doom scrolling, making yourself sick.
Even if it's to get a different perspective, because even listening to you now, and you know, when I follow you on social media, there are times where you set out and you have something in your heart and you pour it out there. And I don't know what you're feeling like your purpose is, but I know that you're touching a lot of us. And every day I'm looking, I'm like, this girl is so emotionally intelligent. She's done the work. You can tell you've done a lot of internal healing, and I'm proud of you for that.
Thank you.
So continue the great work. But also, you're as far as the business is concerned, that's another reason why I follow you, because you're, you know, very business oriented. You know, whether it's fashion, modeling, what all you got going on still right when it comes to that?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost is always the music. Music is number one with the touring. And that's like where I make most of my income. And it's been difficult the past like year with that because I have like multiple injuries in my neck, including my vocal cords.
Oh man.
Yeah, so like I didn't even tour like the first quarter of this year, so I'm kind of going back on the ball, but not like extremely. And even right now, my vocal cords are like a little bit, you know, they feel a little funny. But I've been trying to get better in that area. But that's my main focus. And then and people always ask me like, oh, what about like Spotify? I'm like, I wipe my ass with the money Spotify sends me every month. Okay, that's what I do with it.
Yes.
So Spotify don't pay the bills.
Is that what you recommend then if you have artists out here? Because a lot of artists will watch and are fans of you as well. So, you know, they want to go on tour. How do they fund that? How do you manage to get all that done planning-wise and everything?
So if you're just starting out, you don't want to focus on money from touring. You want to focus on money from merch. Yeah, and then you want to focus on getting booked in any kind of show that will let you sell your merch after you perform. And that's what I recommend, because that's another big source of income. When I'm focusing on it right now, unfortunately, I haven't been focusing on merchandise too much. Yeah. But when I do, that's a huge income for me. Yeah. And I'm actually going to relaunch my clothing brand. I have a clothing brand called the Satori Mob. Yes. So I would say within the next 2 months, we're going to have like a major relaunch of that. Right now, the designs are almost ready. Okay. Yeah, so.
So, I mean, has fashion always been just another thing that you had going on from a young age?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I remember in high school, I'd always wear a bunch of different fashions, and some people, the haters, always got something to say.
You dress weird.
Yeah, they'd be like, she's a poser. She dresses like a chola one day, and then like a goth, and then like a prep, and then like, I don't know what, I'm like, I just like fashion. I'm like, and that's kind of how I am now. Like, I sometimes confuse people, I feel like, with my styles because I just dress so many different ways. Yes. But that's just kind of me. Yeah, it kind of has become my thing. Like, at first people didn't really, because when I first started like 10 years ago, I would just come out like looking like hip hop, and then after a while it was like, oh, this game's so boring looking like this. But
it's all art, like everything, the whole thing. It's all art. The music's art. It comes with the entire entertainment. Yes.
So now I got people used to me just dressing however I want, and that's fun. I get to just go all over the place, kind of like with my beats. Yeah, the same thing with my beats. I go on like a bunch of different beats and genres. So
really, so I know I heard the gratitude song. Now, is that part of the 52 songs?
Yes.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about that challenge that you gave yourself as an artist, and tell us how that all started.
Yeah, so I work with my brother. His name's Loudon. He makes most of my music with me. He's my real brother. Like, we have the same blood. Okay. And so me and him, we've been working together like the past 10 years, basically. And we're always trying to do new things, but in the end of last year, he came to me with this idea, and he was like, oh, I want to drop a song every single week, or you should drop a song every single week next year so we can run up the streams. And I was like, because the streams are not where I want them to be. Nothing's where I want it to be. Though. Nothing. You can give me the whole world and it would never be enough. I'm so hard on myself. But anyway, so we said, how are we going to get the streams up? And he's like, we should do that. So we've been doing this challenge this year. I'm dropping a song every single week for 52 weeks. So we're halfway into the year, and we did it. We did the first half already.
Wow.
So the second half is still, we're knocking them out.
So you're knocking them out as you go, or do you have some already recorded and you're just releasing them, or how does that work?
I'm definitely doing a bit of both.
Okay.
Definitely doing a bit of both. Yeah, dipping in from stuff and then making new stuff. It's kind of just...
Is it harder than you thought it was going to be?
No, I knew it was going to be hard.
Okay.
I knew when Loudon brought me the idea, I was like, I'm just going to be honest with you. I do not want to do this.
A song
but I'm going to do it. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And it's been going good. It's been going really good, actually.
Yeah.
But I never need to do it again. And it was as hard as I knew it was going to be, and that's why I didn't want to do it. But I get to say all year that I'm dropping a song every week.
Yes.
So check me out. Every week I have a new release on Spotify, and if it's not under like my main new release, just look on my featured songs.
Oh, nice. All right. Well, I want people to keep up with you because you've got, the clothing line's about to launch. You're still on tour. You've been hitting a lot of spots here in Texas. So H-Town, we need a Reverie show. And then you're going to be headed like to Hawaii. You've got...
Yeah, I'm going to Hawaii after this. And I turn it into a vacation. I don't even have a flight back. I just have a flight there.
I love it. I love it. But that just goes to show how being an independent artist, right? And you're making your moves, designing your life, not having, okay, this is what I got to do because you're making your opportunities, making them happen. And this is all coming from a girl from LA. They grow up in a lot of households like our very own, just single moms and stuff like that. So I'm really proud of everything that you got going on.
Thank you.
Anything else that you want everyone to know before we part?
I would just say to check out my music on wherever you listen to music, Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud, YouTube. And
it's Reverie everywhere?
Reverie, just Reverie. And then all my social medias is Reverie Love, TikTok, Instagram, everywhere, Reverie Love. My website, reverielove.com. And I just want to say thank you so much for having me on your show, and also just shout outs to Texas, Thank you for having me out again. I think this is like my 4th or 5th tour that I've done here in my life, so I'm very blessed and I'm very grateful to be coming back. I get to go a lot of places, and I'm very blessed because the people love me and I get to go back a lot of places, but I don't get to go back everywhere. So the places I do get to go back, I'm like, oh, damn, they really like
y'all
me
show
there.
some love.
So I just want to say thank you.
You're welcome. And you've done some collabs here. You've got Crystal Poppin from Texas. Anybody else from Texas that you're going to be working with soon?
Yeah, actually, so I have the song with KP and Jenny 69. It's called Back Into It. And then I have another song called How We Do It with Carla and Anna Mays.
Yes.
And actually, Gold Toes, we put that one together, right? Yeah. With Anna, right? And then I have another song with Carla that's on the way as well.
Okay.
So we're working on that. But I want to start making more music down here, like with the artists down here, because I feel like that's probably the best way to go about it. If I'm going to keep coming out here, I need to work with the artists out here.
Yeah, tap in.
And I like the music out here, too.
Okay. Yeah. Any artists right now that you're feeling like, man, Texas is really repping with that artist?
I mean, for sure, OT is killing it, Yeah, Mexican OT is just... Yeah. He's really putting it down. And Crystal Poppin is really having, like, some motion right now, too, which is dope. I also met P. Killa the other night.
Yes, okay. All right.
She's so cute.
Out of Austin?
Yeah, but we were in... she's from Austin, but we were in Dallas, and she was with... Lil Chris.
Okay.
Baby Chris?
Yes, Lil Chris, I think it's Lil Chris.
Yeah. And then also Baby Youngin was there.
Okay.
We all performed together.
Oh, man, you're tapping in with everybody.
Yeah.
I love this energy, like the West Coast and Texas rap. And, we're all a bunch of Mexicans, Latinos just coming together. And, just in this entire movement, I'm here for it. It's happening in real time. Yeah. You're a part of it, a huge pioneer. Thank you so much, lady, for everything that you've done, paving the ways for us women, and then just showing it how it should be done. So keep up the good work. Again, they can follow you. And where can they find you?
You can find me Reverie Love everywhere on all the platforms, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, X, YouTube, OnlyFans. What else is there? I don't know. Whatever it
Did
is,
you
it's
say X
Reverie
already?
Love. Yeah, X is for sure. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
Reverie Love. Find her on all platforms, and we'll be doing a little something. So you're going to be joining us for a performance a little bit later,
Yes.
right? All right. Well, thank you so much for being on the
Thank you.
show.
Appreciate it.
Welcome back to Hustle Vida. I'm your host, Jessica Jeanz, and today we're honored to feature a true trailblazer in Texas hip hop. Out of G-Town, Galveston, Texas, she emerged in the late 90s as a powerful voice in Latin rap, known for her melodic hooks, hard-hitting lyrics, as a key figure in the golden era of Texas Latin rap. She was a fast-rising star with multiple radio hits, major album features, and after a hiatus, Miss Powda has made a triumphant return with the new album, The Queen is Back, produced by Manic Media. And join us today as we delve into her legacy, her insights on evolving rap landscape. The Queen is Back. Welcome to the show, Powda in the building.
Thank you so much for having me. This is an honor for real.
No, it's an honor to have you too, because like I mentioned, you know, just the legacy, the trailblazing that you did,
Yes.
and just, you know, the songs that we remember growing up with, such a nostalgic feeling to hear the music, and, you know, being able that you're here to, in the flesh, to talk about your legacy. I want to dive in to the history and, you know, some of the early things, you know, how you got into the music industry, and how you've impacted so many women in this city.
Well, you know what? I wish that I could say that it was just this passion that I was pursuing and that's how it happened, but really it wasn't. It just kind of fell into my lap, which it, you know, lets me know that it was really meant to be. Because yeah, it was divine intervention for sure. Like a friend of mine was just like, hey, come to this studio. And it was the Salty Water studio in Galveston with, you know, Pancho V and Tommy G. And they're like, come over here and just hang out. So I thought I was just going, you know, going to this studio just to kind of chill. And we started vibing. They were making beats, and I started singing a little bit and playing a little bit of piano. And before you knew it, like, you know, they kind of took an interest, and they were like, hey, you got talent. You know, why don't you come, you know, sing a little something or do a little something. So it started from there. And then they took me on as, you know, one of their label mates, and that was it.
Yeah.
And honestly, I had no clue what I was doing at the time. Like, I didn't realize that I was really the first Latina to really make it big in this area. Like, I didn't know any of that then. You know what I mean? It was all happening, so you don't think about it like that. And nobody tells you, you realize you're the first, you know, like nobody says that. So, you know, it wasn't till way after everything happened that I really realized the magnitude of what I did.
Right, because I was just going to ask that. Like, you've gotten, you know, you've been a recipient. I know not only have I given you your flowers, but you've also had Latin Rap Awards for your legendary work, legacy, pioneering work. And so does that certify things for you?
It did. It really did, because I never even called myself a legend. I would never have even said that. You know what I mean? Those words wouldn't have come out of my mouth about me until somebody said it to me, and literally had to like pull out the numbers and prove it to me. He was like, Powda, you've been on the albums you have been on collectively have also like over 4 million records collectively, everything that you've been on. And I didn't see it like that. I knew one of the albums I went platinum. I knew that, but I had no clue. So he had to literally pull out the numbers for me, tell me the history, be like, what other female did all, and finally I was like, okay.
You know, and I ask this question a lot, you know, especially when I speak to people who have been pioneers, especially in the Latin rap game. You know, some of the obstacles, right, because there wasn't a whole lot of representation for us, right? Like, really none.
No.
And coming out of this area, I'm from San Antonio, and so I remember hearing the Nasty Girl song all over the radio. It's still a banger, right?
Yeah.
And then hearing, you know, other cuts, other albums you were on, other features, the Dope House stuff that you did, the features you did with Bash, and just knowing that, you know, seeing the catalog, seeing the work. And I usually ask people all the time, like, you know, did you know that the impact that you were going to have on people? And then once you maybe had a little taste that you were impacting people, how did that make you feel, and did it change things?
I think no. When I was at the time when I was doing it, no, I had no clue. You know, I was just doing me. I was just, you know, I was just having fun and doing me, and I wanted to make it, but I really didn't understand the impact that I was making. Once I did kind of start to see, it made me a little like it was like a bittersweet thing. Like I felt so much gratitude for the blessing that I had been given, but at the same time, like I felt ashamed of myself that I kind of squandered it, like that I didn't, that I let personal dramas and stuff like that get in the way of it. So I was like, man, you were making a serious impact. Like you were blazing this trail. Like you should have been able to continue that and not let personal things get in the way, but when we're young, we make mistakes. But yeah, so it was kind of bittersweet. And then that was a lot of the motivation to make me want to come back and finish and do an album and give my fans that album. Yes, to kind of like, I don't know.
I've got the knowledge now. I've got the wisdom now. I've got so much under my belt that I'm going to do it right this time.
Yes.
I love that because not everybody gets a second chance.
Yeah, they don't.
And do you know why you've had this opportunity or versus somebody else who doesn't have the opportunity to do it again?
All I can say is just blessed. I feel like God has blessed me. And I feel like he's kind of like put a message in me. And you'll see with the song that I'm performing later. When I came, this song that I'm doing is called Energy. And it was literally the first song that I wrote when I came back.
Okay.
The very first. It was the very last that I put out, but it was the first that I wrote.
Interesting.
And it felt so divine when I did it. Like I had I hadn't written in over 15 years. Like I was totally out the game. When I tell you out, I was out. And the first song that I sat down, it was just like, it just flowed through me so fast. I wrote it in probably 15 minutes. Wow. Like, and it just came out so quick, and it was such a strong message. So I kind of feel like he has given me the second opportunity to kind of get that message out. And then also too, because of my heart, the heart that I have, the good heart that I have, I feel like maybe I can change this game a little bit because it is such a,
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about, because again, being a trailblazer, it sounds fun. It sounds so great, right? But not everybody knows the things that you had to carry.
Yeah.
The things maybe you still carry. Putting yourself in a position like that.
Yeah.
Just doing something that you love. So share with us maybe something that, because there are a lot of women now entering the game that could learn so much from what you had to experience. Anything that you want to share that, you had to overcome?
Yeah, well, the first thing being, when I first got into it, I had no idea about the business aspect of it, So I got really screwed over. Like all of those albums, the 4 million that were sold or whatever, I really didn't get paid off of probably 95% of that, know. Nothing that I did that was big that you guys have heard or know of. I definitely didn't get paid for any of that. So that was hard. And that was one of the reasons that I left, was because I was just like, I can't make any money in this game. People kept trying to take my money everywhere I went, And it was just, I felt discouraged. I felt like I just couldn't make it work because I didn't know enough. And so now I feel like I want to help people to not let that happen to them, to educate, to let people know about royalties and publishing, and let them know how important it is to get signed up for all of that, and all the different websites that you can sign up for to get paid, and just different ways to make money. But this time that, I'm doing it, I'm going to make sure I'm doing it the right way so that I'm going to get paid.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, definitely a lesson learned. And now with so many, now we have Google, now we have AI, and we have all these things that were not available, unless you really kind of were talking to record execs or, someone was looking out for you in the game. But definitely that's, one of the best pieces of advice that I get from multiple people is to make sure you got your business right.
Yes.
I know you're handling business, doing the music, you're out here putting visuals out, you're great on social media.
Thank you.
How do you balance that now that this time around, you're a mom?
Yes.
So
I always say, honestly, I don't think there is balancing. Like I try, but I feel like it's kind of like it's these scales, you know, when I'm doing good in one area, I'm not doing so well in the other, and then it just kind of tips back and forth. And I feel like I'm in like these little cycles right now, because I get to a point to where if I've left my kids for too long, like if I've been gone every weekend for a month or something, I'm like, okay, I need kid time now, you know?
Yeah.
And I thought before that it was really for them, but now lately I found that it's for me. I need that time with them. You know what I mean? We both need that time.
Yeah.
Our family needs that time. So yeah, I kind of go through cycles where I'm like, okay, unplug, put the phone down, stop all the appointments. Let's have family time. So it has been a little bit difficult, but like I said, I just feel like, you know, it's just like this. It goes back and forth. You know, I'm doing good sometimes, and then sometimes I'm not.
Trying to figure it out, just like the rest of us out here. Yeah, with work, jobs, career, being a wife, being a mother, and still pursuing your goals. What other goal are you trying to hit? Like, you're touching everything. So is there anything else that Powda wants to get done?
Yes, Powda, number one, I started the Powda Room, which is my podcast. That's going to be coming out very soon. And I also really want, like, eventually I really want to get into acting. Like, that has been a goal of mine. That was what I wanted to do before I even got into music. Like, that was my first dream, to be an actress, yes. And then, you know, I kind of lost that, becoming a rapper and a singer. I just kind of lost that. Like, maybe that's not for me. Maybe this is what I'm good at, because I'm good at this. But that would be a dream come true, for real, to be an actress.
You never know. So many independent artists and independent filmmakers are just making their way. So, you know, we always support them at Hustle Vida. So you never know. We might be able to link you up a little something.
Thank you.
Back to what you have going on now, because you dropped the Queen is Back album with Manic. Shout out to Manic. It just turned out incredible.
Thank you.
Lots of features.
Yes.
Great collaborations with a lot of ladies.
Yes.
A lot of great legends. Like Lil G and my girl Lopez. You've done just so much going on, even with the young artists, Lil Rai and stuff. So, are you working on a new project now? Like, is there another album in the works? Are these just singles? And what do you got going on?
There's an EP that I'm working on right now with a producer friend of mine, Katra.
Okay.
We're working on an EP. We've been working on this for a while, and we've kind of like just hit pause when we get busy, and then we get back to it. But there is going to be an EP coming out with Katra as the producer.
Now, Katra has a different style. It's more of a Latin flavor. Did y'all go that route?
It is more of a Latin flavor, but he has some different stuff that, like, and I think that I'm the one coming in and scooping it all up, because every time he gets like a really like a hip hop or a trap beat, I come in there and I steal it. But yeah, he is more, you know, that's how his roots are more Latin, of course. But yeah, my stuff is different.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that, but then I also have, like, right now I have like a lot of features that I've done. So like the Little Rai feature, we just dropped a song called Fly Away, and the video for that should be dropping either this week or next week, like any day now.
Okay.
And then I also just recorded a feature with Animes for her album. Yes, for her album. So then that's going to come out. I have a single that I recorded with Yazzie Nicole that's going to be coming out probably next month. And yeah, so it's just kind of been features right now while I've been trying to get the podcast together and, you know, working on the EP.
Okay.
I should say the EP should be out by the end of the year, though.
And you guys recorded, you mentioned Yazzie Nicole, you guys recorded here at Up Above Media Studios, right?
Yes, we did.
So what's your experience working out of, you know, Up Above Media, Up Above Entertainment, and the studio?
Oh my gosh, this studio. So the first time that I came here I came to watch an artist showcase, and they ended up giving me a tour. When I took the tour, I was like, oh my God, this studio is amazing. Like, I would love to record here one day. And it was just like a dream, but I guess I manifested it.
Yes.
It wasn't long after that I was back here and recording. But, you know, I kind of pitched it to Marco Gonzalez about, hey, look, I'm doing this podcast. I'm interviewing people, but I also want to have an experience with them. So one of the experiences I wanted to have with Yazzie was getting in the studio and recording a single with her.
I love that.
And just recording the process, you know. And so I was like, you know, we would love it if your studio would kind of sponsor that and, you know, give us a beat and let us come in and we'll promote you too. And he was all about it. So
yeah, I love that. But you see how that networking, right?
Yeah.
And getting out there. And I want people that are watching, whether you're in the music industry, business, whatever it is that you're doing, like it's important for you to make those connections and, you know, believe, because that manifestation is something real.
Oh my gosh, that's, I mean, that is the realest. Like, there's actually scientific proof that manifestation works. Look it up. Every thought you have is energy. It's all electric. Everything you think and say is energy you put out in the world. And that's part of what this song Energy is about too. And that's real. Like, it's a real message that I really want to get out there to people. Like, you control your world. You control everything that's happening. You can bring it to you. You can literally gravitate things to yourself with just your thoughts and your mentality. Yeah. So yeah, just me saying that, it was like I was here within a month.
I love it.
Back here doing what I said I wanted to do. So
I love it. So I mean, you've been giving messages and so much knowledge that you have. Is there something that you would like for the audience to know, or some advice maybe for some young, talented Latinas that are trying to get in the game?
One thing that I would say is just, number one, be yourself. Don't try to be like anybody else. Don't worry about what other people are doing. Just stay in your own lane and just be you. That is the easiest way to get ahead. And then number two, like, don't be about this negativity that I see all the time. Like, don't even engage in that stuff. Keep yourself positive. Keep on a positive note. You know what I mean? Try to be uplifting. Work with each other. Come together. Network. Your network is your network is your net worth. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you need to make friends and have love in the game. Not be out here being negative, dissing everybody and shit. Like, that's not cool. That's just not cool.
Right.
So
it doesn't come back to you. So you want positivity your way.
Exactly. You want love coming to you, not hate.
All right, so Powda, you're all over the city. You've head out to a lot of different cities too. But where can we catch you next?
Next, so the next show is June 14th in Eagle Lake. Maybe I can give you the flyer or something. We put a little flyer down there because I'm not exactly sure what the name of the venue is. But Monster is sponsoring it, the energy drink Monster. And it's going to be a really dope show. There's a lot of great artists that are performing.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, Eagle Lake.
Eagle Lake.
All right.
I didn't even know there was Eagle Lake, but hey, I'm going to be there.
Right, I'm popping up.
And then big show in July 19th, I have a show with MB Riders at Winters in Pasadena.
Oh, nice.
I am so excited about that. Yes, because that was like, we were on the radio at the same time.
Yes, Lost in Love.
Yes,
and,
we were doing
Nasty
it.
Girl.
Yes, we were doing it at the same time. So I'm really excited to be able to perform for that crowd, for those people,
Yeah.
that are
I mean, it's such an honor to have you here. With everything that you've done. Like,
thank you.
I know I've mentioned it to you before. I used to be in my room listening to Powda, and to sit here full circle and to be able to just talk to you, see your growth, see you just inspiring and still continuing to impact a lot of young ladies. So I just want to congratulate you on everything
Thank you.
that you're accomplishing, everything that you're going to continue to accomplish, your Powda room, the music, all of it. So I want people to keep up with you and also be proud of you too. So where can they follow you on social?
Instagram and TikTok is Powda409, same for YouTube channel, and then Facebook is just Powda.
All right.
Powda, don't put the ER at the end.
Yeah, Powda. All right, Powda, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for
Mama.
everything you've done. Love you.
Thank you. Love you too.
You're watching Hustle Vida. I'm your host, Jessica Jeanz, and this performance brought to you by Up Above Entertainment. This is Reverie.
Yesterday I was on top of the world. I'd forgotten all about the worth this drug addicted girl that I was not too long ago. Sorry, but I gotta go back into my cave where I can misbehave, lose track of the days, fall into a permanent daze, stems into the pause. These caps are gold, effects like glitter. If anybody asks, you say you wasn't with her. Slipper, another thizzle, her pupils dribble back and forth through her sockets. Don't forget to lock it. Hello there, sunshine, ain't seen you in a minute. My palms are sweating, I breathe. Heavy as I watch you spinning. Emotions diminished, emotions perpetuated. I thought this dream would take me away, and now I can escape it. Weight is too overwhelming from my intaking. I'm hating myself, but what's new? Wake and bake, waiting, cause yesterday I said yesterday. What up, H-Town? miss yesterday. I know everybody struggles, I know everyone's in pain, I know everybody's fake as fuck, you're all the same, I can see through it, sometimes I can. Yes, I got a good heart, so I don't understand how people could do me dirty, cause I'm so genuine. Been backwards and forwards by all of my friends, and you've all fucked me over one way or another, from my so-called best friends right down to my brothers. And that's life, and I've come to accept it. Nothing that exists is flawless or copacetic, so I can't let it remain embedded in my pathetic fantasy of being a perfect world. Shit, forget it, don't sweat it. I can't enable this moment to permanently turn the tables. I'm already unstable. My weight is hella heavy today, and I don't mean literally, I mean that I hate it today. Yesterday, you know why, cause yesterday, let me tell you about it. Yesterday, yes, I miss yesterday. I said yesterday was so beautiful. I said yesterday was so beautiful. Beautiful, it was so beautiful. But today is so motherfucking bad. Reverie in Houston, Texas. What's up?
You're watching Hustle Vida. I'm your host, Jessica Jeanz, and this performance brought to you by Gonzalez Law Group. This is Powda.
Let me preach to y'all real quick about the energy you put out.
Good energy, it gives you life, it gives you hope. Something inside says it's a no, something unspoke. It's a reprise, it take you back to why you alive. You can't go back to negative habits, you gotta rise. So far above, a place of love, a God is inside. When you connect, it's like a light, something go off. No more bad vibes, came through the hate, and now today say, and this here is mine. It's time for the take, into it or fake, it's so much on the line. Are we gon' ride or are we gon' fight? Time to choose sides, it's wrong or right, uplift to the sky. Don't cut your wings, just out of spite. Let's get together, take off and fly. It's so much better when we combine. Get on my wave, get on my lane. Was down for a while, was started to sink. I couldn't breathe, I couldn't think. Now I'm right here, right on the brink. Time to be great, it's never too late. If you relate, get you a plate. We break a bread, I'll teach you to bake. Get out your head, it's time to rethink. Now roll up the dank. Let me smoke. Don't choke. Okay, back on the grind, back in perspective. This is elective, not required. It's up to you, you gotta choose. If you expect it, you will not find. Gotta create, your mind is a gate. Your thoughts are the keys to paradise. Just keep it straight, cause dark can cease and paralyze. It'll be the demise, I'll open your eyes. See through the lies, peace the prize. Don't bring the drama, but you get what you give in the world that we live. Yeah, that shit is karma. I give my heart, I give my all. No matter the task, I will not fall, cause angels got me. I got protection, it is a blessing to be in my presence. Real is my essence. If you my people, there is no severance down to the end. Through convalescence, back up again and again, until we win, just like him. Let it sink in, I say that with reverence. Keep the spirit in all that I do. Why? I learned my lessons.